Let's talk first about you and growing up in LA and when football became or athletics in general became a part of your life.
I grew up in South Central LA in one of the roughest neighborhoods in LA, not too far from USC, about 3 miles, 4 miles east of USC, near the downtown area. Athletics, I guess, was pretty much a part of my life, my whole life, just not organized athletics. I'm one of 9 kids. I have 6 brothers and 2 sisters, so we were always out in the streets, and it wasn't like today where, you know, you sat in the house and played video games all day and mama kicked us out the house and said, go do something, you know. So we were out in the streets running around, playing pickup games of football, and if we didn't have enough people, we played throw-up tackle. And so athletics have been in my life pretty much my whole life, but I didn't really start playing organized football other than flag football, you know, until like college.
In college, you started, was it junior college that you were playing at?
West Los Angeles Junior College. What's up, everybody out there?
What was the name of your team? What was your mascot?
The Oilers.
The Oilers.
Yeah.
So
Keyshawn Johnson, a few other people. Warren Moon actually went to my junior college too.
Wow, so they really turn them out over there.
A little bit. We got a few players coming up out of there.
And you start to show something. So San Jose State, did they come? Were they coming to watch your games, or how'd they hear about you?
They found me actually by recruiting one of my best friends, a guy named Edel Shepard, who was actually here in Chicago right after we left college. When I was playing arena, he was here on the practice squad for a few years and played for Tampa for. They came to watch him on tape, and what they told me was, you just kept popping up on tape. So I actually got my scholarship from them seeing film of me, you know, making plays.
What was that? How special was that especially for your mom and everything? I mean, yeah, to get scholarship, to get totally taken care of, and you're going to a major. Remember that moment when you heard?
It was kind of surreal because I really didn't know what it was all about. Like, I didn't know, before I started playing in junior college, I knew nothing about how to get to college. I knew nothing about football in general, let alone getting a scholarship and playing at a 4-year university. So when letters started coming to my house in my sophomore year from different colleges, you know, a lot of guys had already been through that in high school. So, or at least at my junior college, where they were getting letters, and for me, they were amazing. They gave me fuel to, like, say maybe I could really get a scholarship. You know, maybe somebody's gonna pay for me to go to college. But for other guys, they were like, oh yeah, they're just letters. You know, they always do that. They send them out to everybody they, you know, think that they may want to recruit. So for me to get a scholarship to San Jose State, when they offered me, it was like, for real? What happens next? I didn't know what happened next.
How do you remember the first time you stepped on the field? I mean, it's a big stadium, right? It was
at San Jose State?
Yeah. So the difference between stepping on the field there and playing a home game at West Los Angeles.
I guess it was a little bit different. It was tons of people at San Jose State. We were a commuter school, you know, and we're like nestled in between Berkeley and Stanford, so we don't get a whole lot of fan support. But it was great. The fans that came out were great. We had a guy named Crazy George who's there to this day beating the drum, you know, and he's getting the crowd hyped. But that was great for me to step out onto the field. One of the biggest things for me picking San Jose State to go to was we were playing USC that year. I grew up near USC, so we were playing Nebraska, in Nebraska, and so we were going to play against some quality competition. That year, TCU was like the #9 team in the nation. They had LaDainian Tomlinson. And, it was, I knew that I was going to have a lot of quality competition, and I wanted to go there to show that I could play, and you should have recruited me.
Were you the first of your family to go to college? Were your brothers and sisters? No. Was it from a young age drummed into you the importance of studying?
Not really. You know, I grew up in a rough area, where my mom and my father was killed when I was 8 years old by some young gang members. He wasn't himself a gang member, but he was killed at a McDonald's while going to get some food. He was riding a bike. We lived in Linwood, California at the time, which is another rough area. And he was riding a bike to McDonald's and decided, well, he wanted to go inside, but because they were closed, they sent him around to the drive-thru, and there was a few young guys inside, decided to come out and jack him basically, and before he could turn around, they shot him in the head. So, education was important, and I knew it was important to my mom for us to be smart and get good grades and all of that. My Aunt Bertie, whose name is tattooed on my arm, they were, I think, more concerned with putting food on the table and our safety. You know, it was hard enough to make sure that we had enough food to feed 9 kids, growing kids, and 7 boys at that, you know, and deal with gang violence and drugs and all of that stuff, than to really be able to sit down and harp on us the importance of education. But my oldest sister, Tracy, actually graduated from Brigham Young University. From LA to Brigham Young was kind of a big step, you know. Provo, Utah, is not many people of color, of any color, in Provo, Utah. So that she was the first in our family to actually go to college.
For you, what number of age are you?
I'm number 5, right in the middle, and I have middle child syndrome, or whatever you want to call it. You know, I have a middle child complex. I didn't think I got anything. Had to work for everything, so which kind of symbolizes my career now, you know.
Well, it shows you about perseverance, and if you want someone to notice you, you got to make something happen, I guess.
You got to make something happen, but you also got to be willing to work hard, you know, be determined to accomplish your goal, and not really worry so much about what other people think or other people say. Just put your head down and do the best that you can, because at the end of the day, that's all you can control. You can't control anything else. I can't control whether the coaches are going to like me. For instance, I was supposed to be cut like 5 years ago. I think they've been trying to replace me for 5 years. But according to the media, fans, whoever else, I was supposed to be out of here. But for me, like I've always said, is I don't worry about what they do. Coaches are going to do what they're going to do anyway. They're going to make the decision based on what they feel is right, and all I could do is make the decision hard for them. If they cut me, they cut me.
And for you, you know, people, if they're not familiar with it, I mean, you get out of college and there's no NFL knocking at the door. It was you. So you were coaching. You were coaching at West.
Actually, I signed an Arena League contract first before anything.
Before you started the coaching?
Yeah, I signed an Arena League contract with the San Jose SaberCats like a week after my last game. You know, they invited me to come out to this workout on a Tuesday, because we used to do these Tuesday, Thursday workouts. And we played Saturday. We played Stanford in the last game. They beat us. We lost, whatever. I wind up signing a contract with them. I go and work out with them the next Tuesday after our last game, and they asked me to sign a contract like that day. So I think the next day I went in and signed a contract and was under contract with them right after that. And
I saw you set franchise records. Your best season there, 100 receptions, 30 touchdowns, like 1,500 yards. What was every time the ball was snapped? Was it Rashied Davis?
I don't know, man. I did kick return. I did everything in arena. My first 3 years kind of unsung, you know. Didn't really do much. My first year I was actually on practice squad in arena. So
that's gotta be a great
when
feeling.
guys complain about making $400, I made $200 a week. I made about $9,000 that year. But the year you're talking about, my fourth year in 2005, actually started that year off breaking my hand and playing only defense the first 3 games with a club on my hand. And then they put a splint on it, and I figured I could catch the ball with a splint. And we had a few problems with injuries, and guys were going down, and eventually they asked me to play the OS when I showed I can catch with the ball with the splint on my hand. And I wound up playing the OS, which I had been wanting to play for like 3-4 years at the time. I'd been wanting to play the offensive specialist position because it was just offense, and that guy got the ball every down,
right.
you know, and they asked me to play it. I went out and showed that I could play it, and I played decent in the first game. I don't think I had a touchdown in the first game, which was, I think, the 4th game of the year. And the next game, I was still getting the feel of position, actually playing it in a game because I had done it in practice, and I did well. I had 3 touchdowns, and then something clicked.
Exploded.
It clicked. Something clicked, and I had 7 touchdowns one game. No, I think I had 6 touchdowns, and I had 8 touchdowns, and I had 6 touchdowns, and I had 8 touchdowns, and it was just like, and when these are all 1 game totals, like everything just clicked.
Do the NFL, do they start to respect what you're doing, or is it real tough for that to break the image of an arena guy getting into the NFL?
It's hard to break the image of an arena guy getting into the NFL because people are like, you know, it's just arena, it's a 50-yard field. Who is he playing against? So it's a little bit hard to break, but again, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about what you can do. And for me, I came in as a corner, and I was blessed. I thank God that the Bears brought me in as a corner, because if they had brought me in as a receiver, I probably wouldn't have made the team. And it wasn't that I wasn't capable and that I didn't think I was capable of playing receiver at this level. It was that the other things that people don't really notice or fans don't really know about that happened in a season, like the politics of the game, where they drafted 2 guys. You know, they drafted Bernard Berrian the year before.
Right.
They had Mark Bradley and Aries Curry, who they had just drafted. They brought Musa Muhammad in.
And they're paying him, so they're going to play him.
They had Justin Gage.
Yep.
You know, they had all of these guys on the team, and I wouldn't have gotten a shot to actually show what I was capable of doing. And they brought me in at corner, and they hadn't drafted anybody. You know, they had Peanut, they had Nate Vasher, who they drafted, I think, the year before. You know, they had guys that could play. They had Jerry Azuma at the time. But there was one guy I had to beat out, you know, and I think they just drafted a safety. And I had one guy to beat out, and I had to play special teams. And I was capable of doing both. So I got blessed in that aspect.
At least I guess you have to look around and say, you know, no matter what, being a professional athlete is giving you the opportunity really to open doors to see things. You make the most of it. It's your choice to step through the door and seize the opportunity. But you really have come and been able to at least experience a lot more than you probably wouldn't have at least early on without athletics.
Yeah, definitely. That football has exposed me to a lot of different things and taken me places that I never thought I was going to be able to go, and never even thought about going in the first place. So it's been great with that. But like you said, there were some doors that were being opened for me that I had to step through. You know, I felt like God was opening doors for me, and He can open plenty of doors. But I think it's up for everybody, up to everybody, to actually take the step and step through it. You know, and I think people feel like, you know, God is this magic genie, and you rub the lamp and He tells you what to do, and He magically puts all of these things in front of you, and that's not what happens. You give your life to God, and then some things happen, and you have choices. Everybody has choices, decisions to make.
Your faith, you know, very important too.
My faith is extremely important to me.
At what point did you start thinking about getting into charitable endeavors and then setting up Rashied Davis Foundation?
I think it was my second year that I began to think about doing some charitable work and having a foundation. Or ours is actually a charitable organization, so it's Rashied Davis Charities. Our charitable organization is a little bit different. It's a little bit different from a foundation, technically speaking. But after we went to the Super Bowl, I think is when my wife and I kind of got serious about it. And then 2009, we started developing Rashied Davis Charities.
And for people who don't know, you work with kids who from the inner city are struggling, falling behind in the grade, and you help them open the opportunity. You help them learn, and also, but not only through book studies, you're helping them learn through experience and showing them what kind of world could be out there for them. Definitely.
Our mission statement is to teach children how to overcome obstacles to success through inspiration, preparation, and discipline. I'm sort of the inspiration piece, you know. I try to go in and teach the kids or tell them about myself, my life story, where I come from, let them know that I feel like I have a responsibility to them, you know, a responsibility to myself and to society, and to give back the wisdom that I've learned throughout my life and see the areas that God has ordered my steps. I try to teach the kids that there are things out there, you know, there are resources for you. There's a lot more to life than what you see every day. These may be your circumstances. You may live in the hood. You may have a bunch of siblings, and you may be poor, and both parents may not be around for whatever reason. But you can still accomplish something. You can't live in those circumstances. Those are the things that are maybe out of your control right now, but you can change that. But you have to be willing to keep your head down and stay focused on what's important.
Obviously, there are people out there that definitely see the value in this, and I know it's always a struggle in your charities because, on one hand, you have to ask people for money. You have to, but more importantly, you're getting people to give time. You're getting teachers, people to donate Saturdays to work with kids. So that's got to be touching to you.
Definitely. You know, our program operates on Saturdays out of the British School of Chicago. British School is a wonderful private school that they've donated generously the use of their facilities and helping us with supplies and things of that nature. They allow us to use their facilities to bus our kids in. Our kids are bused from Brian Piccolo and Cesar Chavez elementary schools. They get to our place around 9, and we give them a day's worth of instruction. So it's not like a tutoring program. I don't like to call it a tutoring program because it's more than that. It's an educational program. We actually pay the teachers that come in. Our teachers are wonderful. They would be willing to do it for free. You know.
But why? But why should they? If you can help support them.
We need another level of commitment to the kids. You know, we don't. With volunteers, they can at any time say, "I can't make it today," and all of this. Well, when it's a job, you show up. You know, they have a little bit more responsibility to show up because they're getting a check. You know, but I love our teachers. Our consultants really, but they're all certified, probably overqualified for the job, which is great. You know, they love what they do.
Have the results been for the kids?
The results have been great. You know, we don't just do educational things. We do reading and mathematics are our two main focuses, but we also do character education. And we do field trips. Our field trips are designed to take them out of their circumstances and show them other parts of the world, the city that they live in, you know, and they can be a part of those other parts. But the kids, a lot of them came in. We had, I think we started with 14, wound up with 11 students by the end of the year. But the kids came in a little nervous and apprehensive about answering questions and reading aloud and all of the other stuff. Where by the time they left the program this year, by the time the end of the year came, they were excited to be there every day. They raised their hands and ready to answer questions, even if they were wrong. They would read out loud. They would, they performed better in school. They were more disciplined at school from speaking to their principals.
And can people can they donate to you guys directly if they want, or
Yes.
How do you handle it? Okay.
For anybody that wants to donate, I'll look directly into the camera. We need help. We need your money. We can't continue to fund it on our own, and we need to raise money. So in order to donate, you can donate to Rashied Davis Charities.org. You can go on the website, click on the donate tab, and you can also shoot emails to myself and my wife, and give us a call here. If you want to volunteer, you can also do that. Sign up for the mailing list, and we can keep you informed as to what's going on with our students, what's going on with Rashied Davis Charities as a whole.
I asked you this one time for Sports Buzz, but I'll ask you this one. Best muscle car of all time?
I'll say the Camaro is probably the most iconic, unless you go with the Shelby Cobra.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
That's a beast, too.
I think the most iconic probably is the Camaro, though.
Favorite food spot in LA for you?
Favorite food spot in LA?
And what is their specialty?
Johnny Pastrami. What's the specialty? Pastrami.
Best vacation spot?
The best vacation we've ever had was on our honeymoon on the Big Island of Hawaii.
Fondest football memory to date?
Catching the pass against Seattle to go to the next round of the playoffs, catching the pass to set up Robbie Gould's game-winning field goal. Well, that, and then the next week we beat the Saints, and seeing, Lack and all those guys hold up the trophy and passing the trophy around, actually, and bringing my wife onto the field, knowing that we're going to the Super Bowl.
Most colorful story about your mom?
I'll tell you one of my favorite things about my mom is that she can sing. She sings extremely well. And she sang at my wedding. She sang, I think it's called Some People Want It All by Alicia Keys. Yeah, I think it's, but she sang that at my wedding, and that actually made me cry, so.